Okay, little tour of a pizza oven. I took, I don't know, I'll have to look this up, 5 years ago or so. I decided to build this. Didn't tell any of my friends, sort of a surprise. I spent the winter looking up basically, what I needed and what to build and all that. This is more of a baking oven than it is a pizza oven, as is it's not round. After doing my research, this type of oven looked more, well, number one, it was easier to build. Less cutting. You basically build arches, put them together. And the main comments they says is if you're only cooking five, six pizzas or so, 7, 8 pizzas or whatever, in a single night, this is the best. This is probably a better all-around pizza oven. These are the baking oven. Basically, they get hot, and I think they hold their heat longer and better. And this one does. This if I put got a door on it that needs to be rebuilt, but if you put the cover on it at the end of the night, it'll still be 200 degrees in the morning. So, if you wanted to bake bread, you could fire this up for lunch. You always have to fire these things up to 1,000 degrees. You need to get them hot first and then let them cool down. You have to your bricks will turn white inside. You can use a temp gauge, but you can just tell by the brick. They look all sooty until they've heated up and they're white. So basically the way to do bread is to get up and fire it up for lunch. You do a pizza for lunch and then let it cool down, and then you can bake your bread, or whatever you want to do. Once you get it down lower, you could do ribs in here. I have a smoker, so I've never done ribs, but I've done a chicken a couple times. I don't really cook in it very often besides pizza. And I actually don't even fire this up just for myself. I do this for pizza parties. It's not a lot of work or anything, but yeah, hour and a half to get it up to temp about. I have some pictures of the build. I'm going to try to figure out, that's why I'm doing this. I want to figure out how to add them all into the film. I know it's not very hard. I've done it before, but it's been a while. But this is, like I said, it probably took me, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks to build, maybe 4 weeks, for everything from pouring the slab. And if you do one of your own, you don't really need to know a lot of concrete work. It's really not that hard. These are just blocks stacked up, and then I filled them with concrete. There's no mortar, so I didn't have to worry about mortar on them. And then I did have to do, a lentil, I guess they're called. And then it goes up. You have a concrete slab holding things up, and then on top of that you have a insulated slab. That was probably the biggest challenge, learning how to make insulated concrete. It's basically concrete. It's basically mixed with a vermiculite. There's other products you can use too. I think I just used the vermiculite, and you add it into the mix, and it's a lot lighter. But it puts air bubbles. My understanding, it creates air inside your concrete, which is what gives its insulation value. And then you do that underneath, and then you build your arches, and then on the outside you do more insulating. They sell insulation actually, you can buy for these things, but I just used insulated concrete, and then I I think I did another coat of concrete on the top, or I don't know. I did end up plastering this a little bit, but I never finished it. This whole front thing, I never planned on. I was going to make this more look industrial. It wasn't going to be finished, and I don't know. I had these bricks around from something, so I thought I'd mess around, and I'm really not a concrete guy, but I thought I'd mess around. And I did have all these joints, and you can see inside there, those are your heat bricks, your fire bricks, or whatever you want to call them. And then we added a regular extra sheet of what do they call it? They're made for people's home ovens. Basically, it's basically a big fire brick. Turns out it cooks a little bit better with that than not. Even without that, I can cook my pizzas right on the hearth. But we ended up most people like in my pizza pans. So though I'll make one once in a while for me, just throwing it on the hearth with cornmeal. Most everybody really likes to pan. I've got some old pizza pans. Just put a little olive oil in there and you stretch your dough out and throw it in there. And I mean, it's when you, I'll have more videos cooking pizzas down the road. You can just hear it sizzling sometimes. And the pizza will sort of spin around in the pan almost. That oil in there gets so hot. You know, you're talking oven. That oven base it starts out the first pizza. You're 800. You know, the roof of the pizza oven's 1,000 plus. The bottom, you know, get up to 800, 700, 800, maybe even more. And so that oil in there just fries. So you get like a fried dough on the bottom almost. Like I said, I will have future videos describing that, but I will figure out where to throw in some of my construction videos on this. See if I can make a good video about the construction. I wasn't doing YouTube back then. Otherwise, I would have filmed the whole build. But hey, that's it for now. If you like the video, click like. If you want to see more, especially me burning some pizzas up, click subscribe. I will also be doing, hopefully here before summer, I'll be doing my dough recipe. I'll be making dough and all that. We're supposed to have a winter pizza party. We've had one every year. We haven't had one yet, so maybe I'll film that. Doubt I'll do that much filming because filming and doing the pizza party in cold might be not the easiest. So, but we'll see. Till later. Bye. Okay, this is the form for bottom of the pizza oven. We put metal in it, and here it is after it's poured. This is the next stack. These were all dry stacked, and then we filled them with concrete. A lot easier. There's a good picture of the whole thing. This is forming up the top. This would be the main structure to hold our pizza oven. We put metal in there, re-rod in the works. And that was just concrete. That last frame was the insulated. So now we're pouring on top. That's the insulated concrete. And so that was fun to mix. Okay, so now we're figuring out the blocks, the fire brick. A little extra frame in. Okay, here we go. Let's get watering it up. Slow but sure getting it built up. Looks didn't really matter. And number one, this all gets covered. Here we're making, working on the arch. And there, pizza oven is basically made. It was made of 3 arches. We just would build one arch, and then move over the structure, and then build another one. That's the back wall. As you can see, I built another arch for the front. Because now all 3 arches in this picture are built. Now this is the part where I think I got a little trickier, but basically building up. You know, you've got to come down a little ways to trap the heat in there. So that's the bump down. And then the front part, that's basically to get I can't remember. It must have got in the, it doesn't show real well, but that's where the pipe gets in. You can see the pipe up there. Side view. And then I decided to add that little decorative. I wasn't going to originally, but I did that little decorative front on it. Now I'm forming it up to put more insulating concrete around the whole thing. It's basically a cellulose type material. Um, and this is, you don't want it to sit right on the, you had a concrete cladding first over the bricks, and then you have insulated stuff go afterwards. And you need a separate, I guess it has to be separate so the tinfoil keeps it from sticking to it, and then you got some mesh in there to hold it in. That would be looks like the insulated concrete. Yep, that's insulated going around it. The only insulation just basically holds in the heat. Do you need as much as I used? I don't know. I might have been a little overkill. My oven will still be 200 degrees in the morning. After ending the fire at 9, 10 o'clock at night, it'll still be pretty warm. Never done any like ribs overnight. I've got a smoker, so I haven't bothered. But hey, it's you could do it in there. More of it. Taking off the form boards and looking at it. See I think I went back around and we patched a few areas that were not level or not even. But that's it.